Hello, team, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 9, another brick in, on, or at the wall. These three little words, 6 letters total, cause a lot of confusion. They are known as the prepositions of both time and place, and today, specifically, we will be analyzing them, speaking about time. And we're going to be using school as a trigger for this class. It's something that I know is universal. 2023. I really hope that everybody had the opportunity to go to school. So most of the questions are going to be related to school life. So let's see what I've got for you. So warm up, I found this. Who else made their teachers mad? A little stand up and some preparation for you to come prepared with a story about a time that you or a friend got sent to the principal's office for something they did. I heard some great stories from my students. You would never imagine that these serious people were such troublemakers when they were younger. And let's see our first objective. Guys, in, on, and at. I'm going to try to explain it in a way that I think will help. And if you notice me doing some non-verbal signs, wait, because this will return in another class. But guys, in, on, and at. I'm actually going to start with on. You'll notice that the word on, it looks like the number 1. O-N, add an E, becomes 1. And I want you to remember this, because on is going to be your preposition whenever you're talking about a day. Whether it's Mondays, our class is on Mondays. Our class is on Monday, just this one. It's on the 23rd. It's on May 23rd. Whatever it is, if you're speaking about one day, the preposition is on. But because English is fun and they like to keep me employed, there's always an exception. And in this case, it is the weekend. So remember, we live in a capitalist world. So you say on Saturday, you say on Sunday, but you also say on the weekends. Now, team, in, it's always inside something bigger. So it's more common when we're talking about time to hear it for example, for months, for years. We are in 2023. We have class in June, in winter, that period of time when you were in 8th grade that year. But we also have an exception with in, which is in the mornings, in the afternoon, in the evening. So inside that period of time. Last up, at. The most specific is normally associated with specific times, but it can be figurative times as well. At the end of school, I don't know if you end at 3, at 4, at 5:30, at lunchtime, but at the end of school, at recess, when you get that break period. So at is going to be the most specific for a point in your day. Guys, here are some questions for you to practice. Try to include your ins, ons, and ats whenever possible. And here we go for some creative English practice. Team, if you were anything like me, sometimes you would have a class when in school and we're like, why am I studying this? Well, here is your chance. You are going to be choosing 6 subjects, 1 for each of these groups, 1 communication or language class. I picked Japanese. It's very cool. But Mandarin or Spanish, that would be a close second and third. A logic or a math class. I, unfortunately, know very little about programming. I think it would be a cool class to take. A history or a geography class. Ancient American history. No, I do not mean the United States. I mean all of the Americas. I think there's a lot of history lost here. I would love to hear about it. In the innovation and science class, neuroscience, it is something that interests me. Why do people do what they do? And what is going on while they're doing it? Creative or art class, I have always said that one day when I retire, I will learn to play the saxophone. How about you? What creative artistic endeavor would you enjoy? And last up with health and sports, I love the gym and I love me some biomechanics. I would love to study a little bit more about it. How about you? What would be your 6 class picks? If you want to see what my students picked, check the bottom of the PDF. There were a lot of good options. I pick one of these to answer. What was the worst part of your week at school? I never liked art class, specifically when we started getting grades for art and music. Um, Nowadays, I wish that I would have invested more time and effort, but at the time, I hated whenever we had an art or a music class. It wasn't my thing. So those were the worst parts of my week. Last up, your challenge, guys, ins, ons, and ats. The only way to learn them is to reinforce the correct use of them. So pick 5 commitments you have this week. Use in, use your on, use your at correctly, and you're good to go. Team, thank you very much. Um, and here, this is the list of my students' picks. But I will see you next week in class.